Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name, once again, is Stuart McAllister, and this is another TIRAtalks for the International Relocation Associates. And today I'm joined by Deborah Loones from Relocation Belgium. Hi, Deborah.
Hi. Hi, Stuart. Thank you for having me.
So it's a pleasure. It's great to see you here. And well, let's start. We've known each other for a little while, but I don't know too much about your company and about you. So would you like to share your history in the relocation industry and the history of your company?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I used to be an expat myself, as many of us. I lived in US, I lived in Germany, in Spain, and then I went back to the US. I was pregnant of my daughter, and then I was relocated by different companies. I could compare the different companies. And for me, I analyzed, okay, what is for me a good relocation company? What is, less good? What is important? What is not important? And so that's when I started thinking of one day I will go to Belgium and I will create my own company.
Wow. And that's fascinating. So you were doing live market research from your experience of being relocated multiple times.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. And you felt that, did you feel that you would like to emulate some of the things that you experienced, or did you think you could do it better?
Some relocation companies inspired me, and I don't dare to say I can do better. And others said, I can do this better,
Right.
Relocation, back at that time, it's 17 years ago. People were still giving brochures, remember, paper?
I remember.
Yeah. So some countries where we arrived, we just received, you just arrive from the plane, you're still tired, you're jet lagged. The relocation company, schedules a meeting like a few hours after you arrived or even the next morning. Right. They explain you, they give you information, they give you like 20 brochures, and a quick tour in the area, and that was it. Then I said, that's not what I want. But then I had others where we arrived in a country and they picked us up personally. They dropped us off at the temporary accommodation and they said, so do your check-in, take your time, and whenever you're ready, let us know and we will start, with the home search and all the rest of the procedure. And so that's when you basically analyze everything. I think it's the personal approach that is so important, so that people feel they are not treated as a number, that, they listen really to your needs. We know that everybody is different. We know that, everybody comes with a different background, with different needs, and we need to adapt and start each time, from zero again. And that's I think, my goal, something that I want to keep in mind with every relocation. And that's also the message I give to my team, to
that's
start
great.
with every relocation from scratch. You empty your head, and you start all over again, and you listen to them, and then you build a relationship of trust, and then everything goes smoothly, even in a difficult, competitive housing market like these days.
Like these days, indeed. Everywhere. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the building that rapport, that connection with your customer your assignee is really, really important. And so, okay, well then continue the story. So when did you relocate back to Belgium, and how soon after that did you actually found your company?
So I was living in Connecticut, pregnant of my daughter, and then I started writing my business plan. And so my business plan was ready. And then I moved to Belgium and I immediately started. But of course, I had no customer whatsoever. Okay.
Right.
So when I was still in the preparation phase, when I was writing my business plan, I talked to many HR managers and I asked them their advice, and people are always willing to give advice.
Sure.
So indirectly, you're already prospecting because they know, she will start, but I asked their advice. So they came back with advice, which I included in the business plan. And then once I started in Belgium, I started calling all those people again. It's tough. It's tough to start a business from zero.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have a customer. You are no priority for nobody. And then one day, I remember they called me. They said, "Okay, you can come to our company to give a presentation." And I gave my presentation. I really did my best. I was like dead in the end. And I ended my presentation and I said to this guy, "Listen, give me one chance. Just give me one chance. And if I don't do it right, or you didn't like the service or whatsoever, I will never bother you again. But just give me one chance." And I got out of his office, and then 1 week later, I got a call. I still remember where I was standing, what I was doing. I got a call, and he said, "Deborah, I will give you the chance."
Wow. And at that time, you were a one-person show, right? I mean, this is just you, that not you are the business. Is that right?
I was a business, but again, during the writing of my business plan, I talked to a lady who was also an expat, and she also had plans to come back to Belgium. And I quickly realized, because, the personal approach is so important for me, I said, "Listen, if I have suddenly 5 customers at once, I cannot handle it myself." So that lady that I talked to, she said, "Deborah, if you start, let me know. I would be so happy to work with you." And she's still today one of my consultants. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
started with the two of you,
Yeah.
back in those. And remind me, when was that? What year was that?
It was 2005.
2005.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I started the business. Yeah, there was still, I didn't realize at that time, and it's not bad that you don't know, that you don't realize that there was quite some relocation companies already present in
Sure.
Brussels, and the job was not known at all. When I said to my friends I'm in the relocation business, they didn't know, what it was.
Yeah, we all know how that feels, where you have to
Yeah.
explain what you do. And of course, you say relocation, so they think that you're moving people's belongings from country to country, and then you go, no, that's
No,
not what we do. And yeah,
exactly.
no, we all understand each
Yeah,
other.
exactly. And then no, I forgot where I was.
So this was after founding the business.
That's founding the business, and then I was on the road every day. I went
Wow.
to Brussels. Now, what I was telling is that there were many relocation companies, and
Yes,
basically the big accounts were already spread amongst those relocation companies. So I really had to fight. So the start took a long time. It
I
took a long time.
understand. I
Two,
mean, you were
three
coming into,
years.
yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't as a mature
No.
business and industry as it is now, but even in 2005, as a new player on the market, and I think Brussels, was already a pretty established. It's host of the EU, and other organizations, so it was already a mature market in terms of relocation. But obviously, that there, as I always think about if somebody's willing to leave the business and give it to somebody else, then that's not the fault of the new provider coming onto the scene. That's the fault of the old provider not offering a service level that was required. I mean, I've always valued loyalty. And unfortunately, I have to also value loyalty when I'm trying to win some business and I can't get it. That's really quite. I have to accept that. Okay, my competitor is doing a great job, so I can't win that business. You have to just wait for something to happen.
Exactly.
So, well, that's brilliant. And okay, I mean, obviously, the second question is Tira. So, what led you, or who led you to join Tira, and you know, how do you feel about your Tira membership?
Yeah. So basically, I always see Relocation Belgium, and still see Relocation Belgium as a boutique relocation company,
right?
Where the high level service is very important. The personalized approach is very important, or the personal approach. But also, if there is an issue, a problem, whatever, that I am very much accessible for the HR manager, for the transferee, for, you know. Still today, all the introduction mails are coming, you know, to our new transferees. They are sent by me, you know.
Wow.
So that people know my name, know of my, you know, existence. So if there's any problem, they can always reach me. And so in Tira, we are all privately owned businesses. And when I talk to people of Tira, I felt they have the same mentality. And so that was for me very important. And why did I do it? Basically, to share the best practices. Those roundtables that we had also during COVID, you know, it was really nice that we had those digital events where we could talk to each other, you know, how COVID was handled in this country, how we were, because remember, it was every day there was a different rule. We had to adapt all the time, and
absolutely,
and yeah, so yeah, I think that was a great value, and then of course, because I work 98% for direct customers, we often get the question, hey, Deborah, can you help us in that country? Can you help us in that country? And so being part of the Tira family, we can offer that to our customer. Well, before I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm only covering Belgium.
Sure.
I can offer the service, and I know it's done in the same way, the same level as my company, and that's why I really think is a great added value. Yeah.
Agreed. My company joined at a similar time to yours, actually slightly later. So we joined in 2020. So the pandemic was already there. I'd agreed to join in 2019, but then, you know, okay, pandemic, whatever. I mean, I joined. It seemed like a good opportunity, and yes, the sense of community of a smaller family, you know, with only 30 or so companies together, somehow felt more, family. I think you used the right word, that it was a closer community, and
closer. It feels close. It's not like the black hole to who am I giving my customer? Will they be, you know, will they have good follow-up? Will they, you know, be, it's
the peer-to-peer recommendations I like as well. I mean, obviously the WhatsApp group, the advantage to the WhatsApp group is that it's small enough that it doesn't get crazy. So I'm a member of another WhatsApp group for a different type of organization, but there are several hundred members, and it just becomes spam. It's too unmanageable. So I ended up turning the notifications off because it was just driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas Tira, the traffic is limited. We ask the questions that are important to us, and we generally get answers that are really what we need to know. And even if, as you said, sharing best practices, sharing questions. Hey, I've had this RFP. It's a little weird. Has anybody else had it? Do you have any suggestions? Obviously, we're not talking pricing or things like that. That would be not allowed. But just to share, like, okay, what's going on in the industry, that kind of thing. That's really what keeps me a member. Let's say.
Because in the end, Stuart, I feel we are all in different countries with different rules and different, and it can be very, very different, but we often have the same problems.
Absolutely. And you don't know, you feel quite lonely, I think. Been isolated, and to have a conversation like that where, like, oh wow, the same stuff is going on with you as with us, whether that's relating to IT.
Well, I think the home search or the real estate crisis that we are facing now, when we talk with all the other Tira members, we all have the same issues. People, we cannot have a home search for one full day anymore. It's scattered, over different days. And how do we deal with it? How do we, set the pricing? I think it's very, very useful. Yeah.
And on a very similar subject, congratulations on joining the Tira board.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Well, I will be supporting the marketing committee and the event committee. So I'm very happy to do so. It will be an exciting year.
Definitely. And that brings me beautifully into the final question I have for you. It's how do you feel that 2022 was a mad crazy year, I'm sure, for you as well. And now, how do you feel about 2023? I mean, we're about halfway through the year. How is it going? Does it feel like normal or still strange, or what's going on?
I was a bit scared when we started this year because 2022 was such a good year. The first half will be good. That I'm not worried about this. It was good so far. However, I'm still a bit worried about what the future will bring us, because I feel more and more attention, on that housing market. And I also feel more and more attention knowing that we have elections next year, attention on foreigners coming to Belgium, I think, Stuart, we also need to explain to our customers that it's very important to integrate in our society, learning the language, doing some cultural training. I think it's very important. Companies don't realize that, and but it is important, because with the increasing pricing, the increasing costs for every family in Belgium, you feel that some families more than ever are suffering.
Definitely.
And then they are looking for, how come we are suffering? Okay, it might be people coming from abroad who are taking our jobs. And that's something where I think we play a role as well. And we need to inform the companies that, they need to invest also, like I said, in integration courses, in cultural training, in language courses. And that's so on a yearly basis, we try to visit all our HR managers. And that's one of my main messages, actually, this year.
Very, very good. I couldn't agree more. I think our industry finally is starting to have a voice globally that we can push for that, because the cost of losing talent is so high that corporations are starting to ask, well, okay, what can we do? And we're just shouting the message we've been shouting for the last 10 to 15 years again and again. And finally, it sounds like people are starting to listen. But I'm glad to hear that you're sending that message out to all of your direct clients.
Yeah. That's definitely what we do. And you say, the war for talent, but you know what they say, that the talent won the war. Okay, so not as of, that's also something we need to, cross that message and say, listen, they won the war. They say what they want. Please, what is that extra additional cost of a cultural training, of a language training? It's
negligible. It's minimal.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so important.
And the benefits.
And it's so important. And it's important for the local community, even, like you said, everybody needs to be understanding. So, but if somebody comes into a store and even tries to speak, French, Flemish, whatever, just
right.
trying, they will appreciate it. And that's how everybody will learn.
Deborah, thank you so much. It's been great to talk to you. And I'm very much looking forward to working with you on the board of Tira.
Yes.
And that's exciting. Thank you very much for your time once again. And see you in a few weeks, I guess.
In a few weeks at the board meeting. I will attend.
I know, I'm sure.
Okay.
Thanks
Thank
very
you,
much.
Stuart. Thank you for your time.
All of it.